Hey everyone, welcome back to my art studio, another episode of Paint with Jim, and this is just going to be a quick episode. Not going to paint anything today, but I've had several people ask me about Christmas art, because I mentioned in one of the earlier videos that even some of the things that you've seen me paint in a couple of the earlier episodes are actually going to be gifted. And so I thought I would just take this episode, I'll put it up right after Christmas, so hopefully I don't spoil anything for anyone as to what they're getting. But I wanted to just bring you in and just spend a few minutes and show you the paintings that I've done. I went through and I got them all finished, and I put a glazing medium over the top. It's not super glossy, but it does give them a little bit of sheen. And then I put my signature on there, and I thought I would just kind of walk you through and show you what I got done. So here we go. I'll give you a look of these. Before I do that, let me kind of show you. I've got this really small, it's like a 6.0 little dinky, try to bring that up to you there. It's this little tiny brush, and that's what I use for doing my signature. And all of these, I just took some paint, thin it down really thin, and then I put my signature as a JH with a, I do like a J and a little arrow, and then I always put the date. So on these it's JH with 2018 on there. So these are really in no particular order in how I got them done or anything. I just stacked them up here so I could show you. So here's the first one, and you watched this in one of the episodes where I did the lettering and then put the coat of the gel medium over the letters to kind of cover them and bind them to the canvas. And so that, I think that turned out really well. So that's one of the paintings that I did. Again, I kind of like that one. Actually, I think I like them all. Here's another one that I did. This is actually going to go to my son. The other one was for my daughter-in-law. My son here, Star Wars fan, of course, so there's that one. And I think I did a total of, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think I did a total of 8 or 9, let's see, 8 paintings I think I did. Here's another one that ended up being an episode, a couple episodes back, episode of Paint with Jim, where we did the photo canvas. We attached this photo of the Beatles to the canvas and then put the heavy structure gel over the top. And I've decided on this one, remember I was kind of going back and forth as to whether or not to put the satin varnish over this, and I've left it glossy, so it's super glossy as the gel. That's the way the gel dries. It's super glossy, and I'm gonna have him. This will go to my nephew, and I'm gonna have him hang it up, and he can let me know whether or not it's too much of a reflection here and blocking part of the photo, and then I'll adjust it down the road. But there's that little project that I did as well. Here's another one that was also an earlier episode. It was just kind of what they call a speed painting. I just did the whole thing in time lapse. And for you Alien movie fans out there, you should recognize the xenomorph picture, or hopefully I did a decent job of getting a resemblance there to the alien. So that'll go to my nephew. And then one of my other nephews will be getting this. So just Joker from Batman, of course. Alright, next one is, I'd call these kind of paintings pop art paintings. And so this, I kind of pulled this photo into Photoshop, and I use Photoshop quite a bit. There's other programs that you can use out there, but I use Photoshop quite a bit just because I have access to it. And this is, of course, John Lennon. Pulled that in. My daughter is a huge John Lennon fan, Beatles / John Lennon. So this is going to her, and then I combined his autograph here with the photo, and so I think that ended up being a good composition, and just the black and white just kind of gives it that little bit of stark contrast. So I think that little pop art painting there turned out nice. And there, you notice different sizes of canvas, so as I'm composing, I have different size canvases all over. So these are 16 by 20s. The Joker, I think, was an 18 by 24. The alien painting was 12 by 24. So just different sizes. Just if you're painting and doing stuff, just play around. You can get those value pack canvases. Usually they go all the way up to like 18 by 24 or even 20 by 24 now. I think they get a little bigger with those. And so when those go on sale, I gobble them up. All right, here's another one I showed you. I did not do an episode of Paint with Jim on it, but this is another photo. So this is a 16 by 20 canvas, 11 by 14 photo that either my daughter or her husband took at Tom Petty concert right before he passed away. They saw him in Champaign, Illinois, and went to the concert. That's a photo they took. I added some color marks. I just took a brush and just really loose and free and just added different coloring there, extended some lines and some of the lights up into the black part of the canvas just to kind of give it a little more artsy feel there. So that, I think that one turned out really well. And then here's the last one that I finished. This is going to my son. This painting ended up, this one has been on the easel for, not literally on the easel, it's been in my studio for well over a year. I was just trying to figure out where I wanted to go with it and all that kind of stuff. But my son he likes the book series called the Dresden Files, and some of you might be familiar with that. And so I did this for him, and anybody that knows about Harry Dresden, he's it's a urban fantasy type series of books. So he's a wizard detective in Chicago. So it's kind of an interesting series of books. And so in this particular scene, I have him, this is Harry Dresden, walking down kind of an alleyway, and it's nighttime, and he's just done something. You can see the end of his staff kind of smoking with the runes glowing and stuff like that. So this is the last one I just finished the other night. I think 2 nights ago I was down here and finished this one. So that's all 8 of the paintings that I've done for gifts for this year, and just wanted to share those with you. And thank you for following along on the earlier episodes, and I hope you enjoyed that brief little look into some of the art that I've done as Christmas presents for my kids and my nephews. And we're just going to continue on as often as I can recording for you, and I'm hoping to do even more. My plan in 2018 was to do many more episodes of Paint with Jim than I did, but just life, because art is not my full-time thing. It's a hobby for me, kind of like my music. So work and family and life and all of that takes priority. So my goal for 2019 is to do more of Paint with Jim, and especially the instructional ones. I have several other things planned out, and I want to really get into the instructional things, because I know I've gotten Facebook messages from a lot of you that want to see that, and I've gotten messages, oh, I wish I lived close so you could give me painting lessons and those kinds of things. And so that, I want to do the actual painting. I may do some of the time lapse where I'm just painting something and kind of show you in time lapse the kind of my process is the reason for doing those, kind of how I start, whether I tone a canvas, the colors I tone the canvas, and whether I sketch or not, or any of that. But that's my goal. So hopefully you've had a great 2018 and Merry Christmas, and Hope you're looking forward to 2019 and it's great for you and all of that. Thank you for joining me on the channel, and I'll be back with you again with another episode of Paint with Jim.